Robert Kiyosaki warns, USA facing worst financial meltdown in history. Many investors believe that the U.S. economy is booming with growth, but there are a number of financial analysts who know the truth, and the predictions aren't good. One such analyst is Robert Kiyosaki, an American businessman and the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Kiyosaki says there's going to be a financial meltdown in America, a nightmare worse than anything we've seen before. There are a number of factors that are contributing to this catastrophe, and these events occurring simultaneously create the perfect economic storm. Hi, and welcome back to another video of Finance Sense, where we cover all the latest trends in the financial markets and the economy. In this video, I'll discuss the number of things that Robert Kiyosaki has to say about the financial meltdown the United States is about to face, and the things the public can do to safeguard themselves and their assets. But before that, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click on the notification bell to stay updated with our videos. Now, let's get to the video proper. The market can go up, but it can also go down. It's going down, then we're going to depression, and then we're going to a revolution. This is what Robert Kiyosaki, an American businessman and the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, had to say about the market falling down this year. Kiyosaki is predicting that the market is going to go down this year. Furthermore, according to Kiyosaki, Karl Marx was only interested in one thing, and that was the abolition of private property, which would mean that individuals would not own anything. As a capitalist, this upsets Kiyosaki since private property would be taken away and given to the state. When it comes to studying communism and Marxism, the most important takeaway is the concept of a centralized economy. It is known as command and control in military jargon, and it refers to the situation in which the government provides you with all of the information you want. Hence, this is why Kiyosaki believes that the Federal Reserve Bank is part of a communist thing. In addition, according to Kiyosaki, if you study Karl Marx, Vladimir Lenin, Joseph Stalin, Adolf Hitler, and Mao Zedong, you will find that the central bank is a Marxist institution. Lenin once stated that debasing the currency was the best way to bring down the system of capitalism and the economy. Kiyosaki, on the other hand, is of the opinion that the political and economic system that prevails in the United States of America is communist. This is a statement that he freely admitted was difficult for him to make, given that he served in the United States Marine Corps and was deployed to Vietnam on 2 different occasions. Meanwhile, Kiyosaki observed that there is no financial education taught in schools because if people learned how to handle debt, they wouldn't save every single dollar they had on their hands. If you examine the 1974 history, an act called the ERISA Act, which is also known as the Employee Retirement Income Security Act, was passed. This act led to the creation of something known as 401k, which was also established after Richard Nixon removed the dollar from the gold standard so that the economy could grow through the stock market. People would think having a 401k is great, but Kiyosaki stated that it is much more ideal to borrow money without having to pay taxes and then invest it in order to generate more money. So, do I have any stocks in my portfolio? No, because I'm not a communist. I am a capitalist, said Kiyosaki. In addition to this, he mentioned that it is not necessary for him to purchase stocks. As a capitalist, he makes his own because that's what they do. The more money he borrows, the less he will have to pay taxes. So what happens? Kiyosaki offered the following example to demonstrate his point, and here's what he had to say about it. Suppose you are the owner of a commercial building, and you buy it for $1 million. After a considerable amount of time, its value eventually increases to $10 million. If given a choice, most individuals would sell the building. However, the minute you sell an asset with a basis of $1 million to an asset with a basis of $10 million, you'll have capital gains equal to $9 million. The minute you sell, you've now executed a capital or taxable event. Therefore, instead of renting out or flipping the building or selling it, Kiyosaki has stated that what he would do is he will take out a loan for $5 million that will be exempt from taxes. Moving on, according to Kiyosaki, a recession is defined as 2 consecutive quarters of declining growth, but a depression is defined as growth that is below the optimal level. The typical individual, however, has no clue what the repo market crash was or why it occurred. Kiyosaki refers to the repo market as the pawn shop. On the repo market, what took place was that the Federal Reserve began injecting large amounts of money into American commercial banks, such as Bank of America and Wells Fargo. This was done because the banks were almost empty of cash. If you have been keeping up with your history classes, you will remember that this is what happened when Lehman Brothers went bankrupt. They were short on cash, but according to Kiyosaki, that money never really entered the economy. Rather, it was kept within the banking system. So, in a reverse repo similar to what happened in 2021, the money began coming out of banks and moving back into the Fed, since they'd much rather keep it within the Fed instead of risking it in the marketplace. Now, the common man would ask, what does that mean? It is an indication that commercial banks do not have trust in their assets. Their assets were questionable, and they began wondering what the real value of their assets or investments was supposed to be. According to Kiyosaki, we need to pay close attention to the movements of cash. If you ask 100 individuals, you'll be lucky to get 50 responses that know the term repo market. That is not a mistake, and it is not an indictment against them. However, it is an indictment against the educational system. Not everyone has the drive or even the desire to become wealthy. However, as per Kiyosaki, it is essential to have an understanding of the potential repercussions that a collapsing market may have. There is no way for anyone to accurately forecast how terrible things are going to get. But by looking at the past and utilizing it as a foundation for the future, we might have a better idea of what kinds of things might take place in the future. This does not mean that you should immediately go out and sell everything you own, because there is always a chance that things will be fine. But if you want to keep your assets safe, then this is why you need to look into some other options. At this point in time, the United States of America holds the record for being the nation with the most outstanding debt. And in explaining the debt to GDP ratio, Kiyosaki noted that when the ratio reaches 90%, it indicates that the economy grows by 10% for every dollar that is borrowed. When the debt to GDP ratio reaches 140%, they will be unable to add any more money to it. Similar to a person who already owns a home but keeps refinancing it. If he were to lose his job, he would not be able to borrow any more money. On the other hand, Kiyosaki has claimed that he invests in Bitcoin because he does not trust the government, the Federal Reserve Bank, the Treasury, basement President Joe Biden, or the stock market. Bitcoin is a bet against the government, as Kiyosaki sees it. People are at their happiest just before every crash. But once it occurs, they go into a deep depression, which is when capitalists make the most money since everything goes on sale. Each coin has three sides: heads, tails, and the edge of the coin. Kiyosaki has stated that he stands on the edge of the coin where intelligence is found. And the challenge with having an opinion is that you are required to pick a side. It would appear that this video has come to an end. Thank you for watching this far. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give it a like, and comment below with your thoughts on what you've seen so far. This is Finance Sense, here to help you stay updated on all the most recent developments in the world's economies and financial markets. Have a nice day, and we'll see you in the next video.